Hey Wyatt, go in depth about why you do what you do, because at 28 years old, what you have been able to accomplish, most people don't even accomplish in their lifetime. Tell me a little bit more of how you got started and why you actually do what you do.
I was able to become a millionaire at the age of 27, and I don't say that lightly. It wasn't an easy road. I remember when I was 21 years old, I was living in Colorado. I found myself completely broke and no girlfriend. I was at the complete rock bottom. I was so broke. I still wanted to hang out with my friends, but I was so broke I didn't have any income that we rented a house and I put my bedroom on Airbnb and slept on the couch.
You gotta be kidding me.
Just so I could go hang out with my friends and go to concerts and go to bars, because I didn't have anything.
You were really creative.
I had to do what it'd take. But since doing that, there's a lot of lessons that I learned, and one of the biggest lessons that I learned was it just takes hard work, and that failure is only achieved when you stop. So if you just don't stop and you constantly start improving, and you have a dream, but you don't stop chasing it, you go after it 100%, all out the whole time, then eventually good things happen. I read a little book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that book just stemmed my entire
How long
investing
ago
journey.
did you read that book?
When I was 21 years old.
Wow.
And then it took 6 years of action to becoming a millionaire. And then since then, we've just continued to grow and grow.
A lot of times, are you motivated by where you want to go, or are you at the beginning partially motivated by fear?
It's a little bit of both. It's the dream of not having to work for anyone for the rest of my life, but it's also the fact that I have no money coming in. I have to do something to generate something so that I can eventually get married and have kids and support a family, and not just support going out to the bars.
Let's dive a little deeper. What are some fears, like top 2-3 fears that it's, oh man, you want it to be so far away from it, it can sometimes drive your success.
When I didn't have a job, I didn't have any income, and I'm just seeing my bank account go down and down and down and down, and almost feeling hopeless. I was interviewing with companies and I couldn't even get a job. No one would take me. I could have gone to McDonald's, I just didn't want to do that. It drove me to find something that could then start the journey of where I wanted to go. So fear was a huge motivator. And I didn't want to be alone. To share a little bit of background, my wife, we met freshman year of college, so we had known each other for 4 years, and we had split. I had moved back to Colorado, where I'm from, and that was when I was at rock bottom. I had absolutely no one, and it was lonely and it was terrible. And then she ended up visiting. It was the best week of my life.
We got to credit Shelby here
Yeah.
for turning your life around.
She
Right?
definitely helped.
What are some fears now?
Fears now. Life is it's a lot different now, but I would say that the fear now is I have people such as yourself that are counting on me to create passive income for. And so the last thing on the world that I ever want to do is let other people down. I don't want to let my wife down. I don't want to let my other business partners down. And I don't want to let God down. I'm a believer, and I believe that I should play all out and honor him with what we do.
What are some morning routines that you do now, and how do you think morning routines affect the rest of your day?
Spark everything. Tony Robbins calls it priming yourself. And I'm a huge believer and component of priming yourself in the morning. How I do that is usually with exercise and motivational videos. And so between those two, that primes myself. And then I also really think through and just feel grateful for 1 to 3 things and get in a gratitude mindset. Because once you have gratitude, you can't be grateful and mad, and you can't be grateful and scared, and you can't be grateful and sad. There's only one feeling you can feel if you're feeling gratitude. So start the day with that.
How was Wyatt growing up? Tell me, were you always very motivated with certain things that you've always wanted? And what led you from motivation to hitting rock bottom? What was Wyatt like?
I was always very competitive. To give you an example of this, my mom and I would race to the car whenever we were leaving restaurants. And if I lost, I would bawl. I would cry because
Wow.
I was that competitive and that much of a sore loser. I've always had that competitive drive in me. And coming from that, what led to rock bottom is when I felt like I was losing in all aspects of life. Relationally, I had nothing. Finances, I had nothing. Spiritually, I had nothing. And then when things changed, and because of that now, I still have that competitive drive. I still love to achieve. I still love to accomplish. And even in the rock bottom, you still have to find the gratitude in things to start and stem from things. And ultimately, for me, it was a character change. It was a partying dirtbag that eventually had to come back to Christ and then build character and build integrity. And at that point, then I could start having relationships with people.
I wish Shelby was here to answer some of these questions, but I'll ask you. When she visited you in Colorado, what was it that made you have that shift? Did she give you an ultimatum?
Ultimately, what it was, first off, I developed a relationship with Christ. When I was at rock bottom, I started going back to church. And within church, I found some fruitful ground of a community of people with integrity, a community of people that believed in things and served a purpose other than themselves. And then coupled with that, for when Shelby came, it made me realize how selfish I was living my life, how selfish I was being, how it was so difficult to be a friend with someone as selfish as me, how it was so difficult to date someone as selfish as me. And so I had to change my identity, my character, my integrity of who I was to then become a person that people liked hanging out with, that
Wow.
people.
And look at you where you are right now. What does the next 5 years look like?
The next 5 years, it's going to be an exciting time. Who knows exactly, but the vision for the next 5 years is to grow the portfolio from the current 200 units to over 1,000 within 5 years within Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska. And then we'll be starting a family here soon, Lord willing, and just work with great people such as yourself.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Wyatt.
Yeah, thank you.